You are the most loyal person in the world that is always there for the person you love. The fact that you don't get that back breaks my heart.
No, Rob's mum, no, sorry, that's just not true. Rob isn't the most loyal person in the world. In fact, you trying to reassure him and pump him up and make him believe that he is kind of explains why he acts the way that he does. Rob's clearly grown up thinking that he can do no wrong. He takes zero accountability for his actions, and I hate to break it to you, but he's definitely not loyal.
I'm in a very complicated situation.
Hey, but if I can give you my information, I think you're so handsome. I'm obsessed with him.
Boy oh boy, Rob is playing a very, very dangerous game here. Voluntarily putting himself in this kind of situation is exactly how a marriage will crumble and burn. But before we get into that, let's just rewind to the start. So the last we saw the pair, yet again, Sophie had decided to move out of their apartment. She, her mum and her cuddly toy were off back to Kay's house. Now, Sophie's hope was that this would give them both the space and time to reflect on whether or not they both still wanted this. But when we catch up with Rob in this episode, it seems his decision may already be made. You see, Rob's had enough. He's had enough of being alone. So to celebrate his birthday, he's decided to leave Austin and fly to Kansas.
Today's my birthday, and it's definitely not a good feeling, when your wife doesn't want to be with you on your birthday.
Oh, they got one of them private poopers.
Yeah, sorry, there is no other way to say this. There's no nice way to say this. It is absolutely tragic when your own wife doesn't want to celebrate your birthday with you. Sorry, but if that isn't a sign that these two aren't meant to be together, I don't know what is. Now, the thing is, much to Rob's relief, having grown up in Kansas, he still has friends and family here. So if his wife isn't willing to spend his big day with him, at least he has some people who will.
I'm gonna go see my friends, I'm gonna go see my mom, and it's nothing but love. And that's why I'm here. Nothing, no arguments, no bickering. It's just gonna be good energy.
Look, this isn't the worst idea for Rob, right? There's nothing for him in Texas at the moment, and he definitely seems like he's lost his way in the world. There's no harm in him going back to his roots, getting grounded, remembering who he is and where he's from. And as he heads out to meet his mum for lunch, he begins to reflect. He reflects on why he's still holding on to this marriage, why he hasn't just let go already.
I grew up wanting to get married one time because, I just didn't want to do the same thing that I watched my mom do.
Look, Rob might not be a good partner or husband, but deep down, he is a bit of a romantic. We've seen that all along. Now, he claims he only ever wanted to get married once in his life. But, Rob, if that's true, why on earth have you self-sabotaged? Yeah, self-sabotaged. It was you who was online cheating multiple times with multiple women. That's simply not the actions of someone who wants to be lifelong committed to one person, married only once. It just doesn't add up. His words and his actions, not for the first time, don't quite match. And in the back of a taxi, as he's reminiscing about the streets he grew up on, we start to see how he's always been like this. He's always had lots of girls in his life from a very young age. Here's where I had my first kiss, he tells us. Right round the corner from here, that girl is who I lost my virginity to. And this house here, this girl...
The girl who lives in that house, I had the biggest crush on when I was in 7th grade. We dated for 2 weeks, and her mom told her to break up with me.
Yes, says Rob, Claire isn't the first mum to tell her daughter to break up with me. And while I'm sure 7th grade Rob probably was quite innocent, how interesting that he seems to have always had problems with girls' mums. Surely that isn't a coincidence. Now, on the topic of mums, his own mum gives us a bit of an insight into why Rob is the way that he is.
Rob is strong-willed. He is a very loyal person. He was always protecting his friend or standing by whoever. He just always did the right thing.
Loyal? Rob? Are we talking about the same guy here? Yeah, sorry Rob's mum, but based on what we've seen at least, I think most people, Sophie included, would disagree with that assessment. Now, Rob tells us, not for the first time this episode, he says that seeing his mum's multiple relationships break down motivated him to want different. He wants to stick with Sophie. But as mum and son talk, we get yet more proof that Rob's mum really doesn't know her son at all. Either that, or she's deliberately choosing to turn a blind eye.
You are the most loyal person in the world that is always there for the person you love. The fact that you don't get that back breaks my heart.
I just don't get it. I don't understand her take. Has Rob's mum not been watching this show at all? Because Rob's been caught multiple times. He's been caught soliciting sexual videos from different women on multiple occasions, all whilst in a relationship with Sophie. What more does he need to do to show that he's not loyal? But it's this staunch defence of her son, this view that he isn't the one in the wrong, he can do no wrong, that makes it obvious. It explains exactly why Rob has developed the victim mentality that he has.
Because I know your life and I know what you've been through, which is why you don't pick your people easy. When you finally say, I'm in this, you mean it.
You've been through so much. You're doing great, sweetie. Don't worry. There's a reason why you're like this. Yeah, sorry, but that attitude isn't really helpful, is it? Say what you want about Claire, right? She's certainly rough around the edges, but at least she says it straight. She gives it to you as it really is. How many times have we seen Claire call Sophie out for all of her various flaws? Yeah, you can't deny it. Claire is a straight shooter. Very, very different to Rob's mum, it seems. Now, on that topic of Sophie, when we catch up with her for the first time this episode, she's getting ready for a night out with her friends.
It's Rob's birthday today.
Oh, yeah?
He's in Kansas City.
Oh. What do you think he's doing out there?
He told me, he's going to a club.
In Sophie's own words, Rob was a hoe in Kansas. She's a little concerned that he might revert back to his old ways, especially if he goes out to a club tonight. And yeah, that is a very valid concern. You can certainly understand why she's so nervous. Her husband, the husband that's seemingly very unsure about the marriage, is back in his old stomping ground, back with his old friends who look to him, who view him as a player, and he himself is on a mission to forget his worries for tonight.
It's my birthday today, and at 34 years old, this isn't exactly how I saw my life playing out. At the very least, I thought that if I was in love with someone, that they would be here.
Look, Rob's feeling low. He's feeling unloved by his wife. He feels like their marriage is falling apart. And yeah, while I do have a bit of sympathy for him, I can understand why it must be a blow to his ego not having his wife celebrate his birthday with him. What I will say is, this is a very, very dangerous mix of emotions, mix of factors, alcohol included, that make it highly likely Rob's gonna make some terrible decisions tonight.
It is pretty tempting to just be carefree and completely forget about my marital issues. At the same time, I'm definitely not trying to do anything that's gonna make things worse between Sophie and I.
I'm not trying to do anything that's going to make things worse between Sophie and I, he says, as he's surrounded by women not wearing very much who are trying to ply him with alcohol. Yeah, again, Rob's actions and words aren't quite matching. And as the night goes on, as he gets looser and looser, more and more drunk, it becomes very clear that there's a lot of flirting going on. A heck of a lot. This is a very dangerous game.
I can't let you bite my neck. Y'all trying to beast mode me now.
No, absolutely not.
So cute.
You are very attractive. So cute.
Look, here's the thing with Rob, right? Objectively speaking, he's a very good-looking guy. He's a model for a reason. He clearly has no problem getting girls. Girls are literally throwing themselves at him. And that's a very dangerous position to be in, right? Especially when you couple that with alcohol and a victim mentality. Like, here he is in a position that he should never have put himself in.
I think you're so handsome. I'm obsessed with him. And that's just that.
Here he is getting all this crazy attention from this beautiful lady. A lady that's trying to bite his neck, trying to hook up with him, and desperately trying to get his number. Yeah, that's precisely the kind of attention that he's not getting back home. Like, we know that he and Sophie are very rarely intimate with each other. They have real issues in the bedroom. So this level of interest from this beautiful lady is severely going to test Rob and his marriage. Yeah, we're about to see whether or not old Rob still exists.
When Rob told me he got married, I didn't believe him at first. Because, I mean, if you knew Rob, you know what I mean? He was a little bit of a player.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting that both of his childhood friends, despite knowing that he's a married man, just sit back and let this all unfold. They're not doing much to help him out here. It's as if Rob's past has come back to haunt him. He's tried on the old costume to see if it still fits, and it fits perfectly. Player Rob is back, and if his marriage isn't already over, then one wrong move and it will be.
The person telling me is about to get kissed on the lips. Are you like single? Like, are you like?
I'm in a very complicated situation.
No, Rob, no, you're married, end of, period. That kind of answer just invites problems. Like, regardless of the arguing, the bickering, the spending time apart, right? Regardless of everything, Rob still has a ring on his finger. He tries to convince us he's fighting for the marriage. So it shouldn't be complicated. It's simple. You're married. At least it's simple if you want it to be. But Rob is lapping up the attention like a thirsty dog.
Look what happens when I go out. Most guys would love for that to be what it looks like. And I'm over here trying to make sure I'm not going to do nothing I ain't supposed to do.
Look, the crazy thing is here that what Rob's saying is correct. His model-esque looks make it very easy for him to get women, it seems. But the question is, knowing this, knowing the temptation that he's likely to face, why has he put himself in this situation? Why is he looking for a pat on the back for doing what he's meant to do, for not cheating on his wife? Like, I'll say it again, Rob's words and his actions don't match. His actions are screaming that he's done with this marriage. His words are telling us that he still wants to fight for Sophie. So if that really is the case, Rob, you're playing a very, very dangerous game tonight.